All right, football fans, welcome back to another edition of Down and Out, brought to you by Bet Parks, where we give you the latest injury news from around the NFL with our very own Dr. David Chao. And Doc, let's get right to it. Let's start with the Miami Buffalo game. Tua Tagovailoa goes out with what looked like a concussion. They said maybe it was an upper back injury. I'd seen a lot of players leave the field like that, and that to me certainly looked like a concussion. The National Football League Players Association is actually looking into this one. What did you see yesterday?
Well, when it happened in real time, I'm with you. I tweeted out and said, when you have outward signs of head injury, you have to be ruled out of the game, even if you pass the concussion protocol, unless the loophole is there's another explanation for the outward signs. Okay. So the NFLPA is requesting an investigation. Routinely, the NFL makes calls and investigates informally on anything unusual. I've gotten phone calls. Hey, what really happened there? Give us the story. Does this make sense? Kind of thing. The NFLPA is doing a more formal one, but you have to that he did cite a play. And indeed, we went and looked at it. First quarter goal line sneak. He got bent completely backwards on the play. And he did get up a little bit stiff for the next play or two. Now, does it fit that he got spasm and went down from that after that hit to the ground? That remains up to interpretation. I wasn't there. But that's the questions the NFL and the NFLPA will ask. What I will say is, first of all, the independent neuro Red Hat has to clear him to return to play. And yes, it was a home game in Miami, but they don't hire Miami Dolphins homers. This is a separate person, and they'll get fired if their shenanigans. They'll get sued if there's shenanigans. No one's that big of a fan to put your house and home and career medically at risk. Now, I will say this. I would strongly doubt the Miami Dolphins medical staff somehow colluded to hide a concussion. Is it possible, and I'm not accusing anyone, for a player to frame things differently? We've seen that before. Rich, you've seen that before, right? I mean, let's go back to Super Bowl.
I've done it before.
Okay, there you go. Let's go back to Super Bowl 49. Julian Edelman against Seattle Seahawks gets hit. The eye in the sky is calling on for a check, but we didn't have a medical timeout yet. It's kind of the medical Edelman rule. He popped up and ran down the field, acted like he was okay. It was a hurry-up offense. They scored a touchdown. He came to the sidelines and said it was nothing. I'm not calling out Julian Edelman, but that seems like plausible. Now, were the Patriots and their doctors cheating? No, they have to go off of what the player says. Were the Dolphins cheating and the independent neuro? I doubt it. But there is players, and you've admitted it yourself, that sometimes say, look, I want to stay in the game and come up with the story. We'll have to see what the investigation puts out.
I know you watched that Chargers Jaguars game with great interest yesterday. Justin Herbert was able to play. We hear that he took a pain-numbing injection. I have to tell you, Doc, I don't know what Brandon Staley was thinking. Down by 28 at the end of the game inside of 4 minutes, and they left Justin Herbert in the game. I thought that was a really bad decision by a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, he said he wanted to be out there, but look, the coach has a vote too, and the coach has the final vote, right? And yeah, that was look. I all along thought that Justin Herbert would play. He's the kind of kid, he'll take the injection, do whatever he can to play. But clearly, he wasn't 100%, right? Not only by the way he played, but also by the way he was grimacing after certain plays. And also, don't forget, missing practice time is a big deal for a young player. And this saga is not over. This is rinse repeat. I mean, next week, he's not going to be 100% either. And during the game, I won't share the context of it because it's private and I didn't ask permission, but I got a text message from Phillip Rivers during the game talking about the rib and what have you.
Mac Jones goes down with an ankle injury, did not look good. What did you see there?
That looks like a significant high ankle sprain. Thankfully, no fracture, but the ligament is at least partially, if not completely torn. Look, the Patriots would be lucky if he could avoid 4-week IR. I think
Wow.
he's going on IR. There's no way he's playing next week. And I'm not judging the reaction to the injury in terms of how he limped off and was carried. I'm judging the injury itself, where the foot was trapped against the ground in the way that it popped outwardly, external rotation. So this is going to be significant for Mac Jones. I mean, injury to insult, right? 3 picks and that's not a good day.
2 more injuries to talk about today. The 49ers lost their Pro Bowl left tackle, Trent Williams. That was a huge loss in the game last night against the Broncos. What did you see there when you looked at the injury to Trent Williams?
Yeah, I mean, that was on the quote Dan Orlovsky play, right? I mean, out of the back of the end zone, and obviously Jimmy G, but that looked like a high ankle sprain. Not as severe as Mac Jones, but Trent Williams, big body, inside leg. It's a bigger deal in some ways to him, and so we'll have to see how bad and how much time missed, but he is going to miss some time. And as you said, the game kind of changed with that play and the lack of protection there.
Doc, I was actually at this game yesterday in Minnesota between the Vikings and the Lions, and Dalvin Cook left the game late, apparently with a dislocated shoulder. It wouldn't be the first time for him. What did you see there?
Yeah, it was kind of an innocuous injury, but he's got the history. He wasn't wearing a harness. He's got the labral tear, so it popped out and right back in. The bad news is ultimately he's going to need surgery on it, and he's going to need a harness to finish the season. The good news is, because it's not new and there's not new damage, there's still a chance he could play this week. He's on the plane already to London. Are you headed to London? No
London trip, Doc, but just talk about the challenge of playing with a harness. I mean, would that require any type of pain numbing agent, or can he just go out there and just tough it out the rest of the season?
I mean, it could require some Toradol. It probably won't require any local, but the biggest effect on him there is not his run game, but potentially his pass catching radius coming out of the backfield as a target, because it limits how much your arm can move. It could affect a little bit pass pro as well, but his running ability shouldn't be affected by it.
There you have another edition of Down and Out. Join us on Friday as Dr. David Chao and I will spin around the NFL with the latest injury news and updates right here at Bet Parks.